was in our inner city fraternity. It was a long time ago and the slangs have changed. There were so many colloquialisms for dispossessing people of their personal effects without their consent. Yes, I was in the property reacquisition sector of our organization. And every now and then I dabbled in some urban pharmacy. Yeah. I'm Nigerian, so I also tried out some freestyle accounting. No, like I was saying, obviously there was loads of slangs for robbing people in it. But the most popular slang at the time in South was suck. Yeah, you can imagine when I found out, I was in the park with the man then. And our leader, Gasman, I mean, you can't be out here robbing people with a name like Charles. So Gasman it was. Gasman was a very serious fellow. He said, and I quote, he spotted some ops. That means opposition. He said, yo, man them. And then we assembled and formed Mandematron. So, yo, you see them ops there, cuz you see them ops. We're like, yeah, blood, man sees them, man sees them. We see them, blood, we see them, blood. Said, yeah, can't we go suck those boys for their shoes? And the rest of them were getting, I'm like, yeah, I'm on this thing. I'm like, wait, no. My brother, no. I need to see the small print. I said, excuse me, Mr. Can I call you Mr. Gasman? Now, if for the life of me, I could have sworn you just instructed us to, said, yeah, blood, you heard, man. That's the motive today. That's the prime objective. Today, we're sucking man, blood, yeah? We suck man for their shoes, their watches, their chains, their cash. Anybody coming through that gate that's not in our gang is getting sucked. Mercilessly. I said, bro, I'm not involved. He said, either you suck man or man suck you. I said, whoa. Can we talk? I said, brother, why? Why, my brother? Why are you doing this? And he gets philosophical. He said, it's all I know. It's how I survive on the roads. I didn't choose to suck man. Sucking man chose man. I said, is this why you have a gang? He said, what? No, I don't need a gang to suck man. I suck 3-4 man by myself. Ask all them boys on the estate, I sucked all of them, bro. Listen, I even sucked this boy in front of his dad. In front of his dad, he said, yeah. I said, what did his dad do? He said, his dad didn't do nothing. Because he did one false move, he gets sucked too, rude boy. I said, my God, this man is prolific. He said, big man, I don't know fear, you know. I don't care how big a man is. How hard man is. I'll look man in the eye and suck man, fam. Are you mad? I said to him, bro, you are broke. I am also broke. This is my last £5. Take it. Wallahi, you need it more than me. Foot Locker is still hiring up. In fact, do you want me to make your CV? We can go together. He said, no, I don't suck man for minimum wage. Man's got aspirations.
Anyway, we've... Nurse girl, could I have the psychological profile now, please? This is... Did you see something awful then? How awful. Would you like to take Lee over that side? Nick, you come over this side. I want you to look up at the screen. I'm going to show you 3 images, and I'd like you to tell me which one you'd rather spend the evening with. Excuse me, Mr. Jelly. Would you rather spend the evening with number 1, a teddy bear? Number 2, Tom Cruise. Or number 3, a large courgette. Which one are you going to go for?
I'll go with teddy bear.
You're going for the teddy bear. You're going to play safe. Let your arms hang loosely by the side. That's right. Going over here now to the Navy, where the food is obviously a lot nicer. Excuse me, Dale. Similar arrangement for you, Lee. Would you rather spend the evening with number 1, a hot water bottle? Number 2, Jude Law. No stains on the upholstery, please. Or number 3, a large sprig of purple-headed broccoli. What's it to be?
The purple head wins all the time.
It does. Excellent. Would you like to now join me back in the middle? Lee and Nick, come over here. Some straightforward questions now, just to find out a bit more about you. What's your favourite aftershave?
I don't wear aftershave.
You don't? Deodorant?
Sure.
Let's have a little sniff. Oh, you do smell quite fresh, Gail. Would you like to? No, nothing musty there at all. What's your favourite aftershave, Lee?
It's brute for me, Julian.
Is it brute? Any on this evening?
Just a touch.
Oh, that's lovely. Just a faint aroma there. Would you wait until you're asked, please? And finally, what's your favourite position, Nick?
Doggy.
Doggy style. What sort of dog do you have? Your favourite position?
Reverse cowboy.
Reverse cowboy. Laughing at your own jokes there. It's like you're on stage with Billy Connolly. Now then. Right, that's it. Nurse Gail, could I have the rubber glove now, please? For medical reasons, I'm obliged to conduct an internal examination. Thank you very much. Could I have the swabs at once? Here they come. All sterilised, open wide. Oh, I say. Lots of room in there, isn't there? What a waste. And Lee, there we are. Perfect. Get those under the microscope at once. Take Lee over to his screen. Nick, come over here. Let's see the results of your swab test first, please. Okay, nothing to worry about there. Just a couple of common or garden microbes. It's almost as if someone just filmed a lava lamp. Now, the sailors' results, please. Not very nice, is it? Didn't waste your evening, obviously.
That has done me the world of good. Thank you for that. Because I was waiting back there behind the big billboard, absolutely terrified. I'm not a natural performer. I'm not, although I have been doing this talk around the country for about 2 months now. I won't lie to you, it's not been going very well. I think the worst one was Folkestone. I have never seen an audience turn so quickly. Rushing at the stage, anger in their faces. Refund! Refund! It was horrific. I'll try and paint a picture for you. Youngsters will know what I'm talking about. Are there any youngsters in the... You can relax, sir. Well, oh, there's a youngster. What is your name, sir?
Riyadh.
What's that?
Riyadh.
Riyadh. What?
Riyadh with a Z.
Riyadh with a Z. All right, it's not Sesame Street. Riyadh, how old are you?
18.
18? Shouldn't you be wearing a hooded top? Get out of my shopping centre! Riyadh. Don't laugh at Riyadh, please. You'll know what I mean, Riyadh, when I talk about stage diving. Are you familiar? You won't know what I'm talking about, sir, but this is when a rock star, like a Kurt Cobain or a Duncan from Blue, they run and they leap. And you're right to be afraid. You're right to be afraid. They leap onto the audience, Riaz. It's terrifying. The audience grab hold of them and manhandle them. Turning them around like that, all over the place. Terrifying. Now, what happened at Folkestone was almost a complete reversal of that. with people just rushing at the stage. It was appalling. But I don't think we're going to have a repeat of that tonight. I don't. Because I'm already getting a lot of warmth from you. I am. To quote the great Darius Danesh, there's a lot of love in the room. There is. And a wide range. We've got Riaz with a Z. No one can take that away from you, Riaz. I wouldn't try to. You'd whip out your hooded top and you'd happy slap me into submission. But it's a friendly crowd. We've got a proper... Look, here we go. Right down in the front, there's a chap here wearing a T-shirt with a slogan on it. Unbelievable. A grown man. What is your name, sir?
Chris.
Chris, with a Z? Riaz, you're one up. You're ahead. I'll bet there aren't many other people in the whole building who have a Z in their name, in all honesty. Unless Zebedee's joined us tonight, which I think is unlikely. So you're a Chris. Yes. Chris. And what's the idea with the T-shirt, Chris? Is it Rag Week?
They say it's hard, bringing kids up is difficult. They say kids these days are influenced by these new hyper-violent computer games. And that's nuts, isn't it? If we'd been influenced by the computer games from our childhood, we'd have to go around going like, beep. Rubbish, wouldn't it? No one would play with that kid with beep, beep. Can I be in your gang? No, you're a bit weird, mate, to be honest. Imagine being influenced by Pac-Man. You'd have to walk round in a darkened room munching pills and listening to repetitive music. So the younger people laughing and clapping, the older ones going, who is this Pac-Man you speak of? Not one of the rough boys from the estate, is he? There's always some rough kids where I live. And they're not being rough, they're just being confusing. You come out of your house, they go, yeah, your mum makes gravy for leopards, innit? Yes, I believe she does. She does a lot of charity work. These are scary kids. Even the dirty old men are scared of these kids. See them turn up in their car, put the window down, like, hello, little boy, do you want a sweet? The kid's like, what sort of sweets have you got? Said it best be good if you come on here and trouble me with your sweetie talk, right? You don't have your mojo or drumstick rubbish, you get me? You must have a serious sweetie offer for me, boy. Blokes panicking. I was like, well, I've got bonbons. I wasn't sure what to bring, to be honest. Dib-dab there, and wham-bar. Wham-bar, your sweets are rubbish, man. Shut up. No. Wham-bars used to be big like that. Now they're small, innit? So you're going to have to do better than a wham-bar if you want to see my dick, right? Hey, nah, man, look at your car driving a Saab. You got no pride. Get out, you wham-bar, bitch. Next pervert, please. How many sweets have you got, Sweaty? What do you mean, Neverland? Yeah. But we live in exciting times anyway, It's very exciting being in London, The Olympics. Fantastic. We didn't really want the Olympics, till we heard France might get it. The British people are, no, all that running and jumping. It's not really for us, is it? When is it? No, I'm busy that week. What? France are going to get it? Bollocks, we'll have it. Only in London would we have to have a poster campaign saying, back the bid. No, fuck off, it'll be rubbish. Don't you think that's a bizarre response to that question? Would you like the oldest, most historically significant athletic competition the world has ever known, attracting athletes from every known nation on the face of the planet to come here and perform at the peak of their abilities in the very city where you live? Most British people go, where will we park? Because it's all residents round here. There's others going, nah, man, the tubes will be packed, you get me? People getting on the underground with like javelins and shit. Coming and escalate with a shot put health and safety, boy. And there's a whole other section of British society going, you what? The Olympics? Let a load of foreigners in. Huh? Ones that can run and jump and swim, you let them in, you'll never fucking catch them. Huh? Place to be overrun with Lycra refugees. You're having a laugh, ain't you, mate? They'll peel them little numbers off their jackets. You watch them, they're sneaky. I read about it.
All of the parenting stresses me out, all of it. Like right from the beginning, when you're pregnant, you've got to think of a name for your kid. You're like, right, we're going to have to name it. That's tradition. Going to have to give it a name. And it's hard to think of a name for a kid because that's their name. That's going to be their name all their life if it pans out. And I'm an indecisive person. I struggle to think of passwords for websites, and you get help for that, don't you? Like, oh no, weak. And names go in and out of fashion, don't they? Some names, they can be in fashion, but they don't come back in. We all know those names. And I tell you a thing that's back in fashion now, and I find it fascinating, is virtue names, right? That is back in fashion. Those virtue names, it's a sort of Victorian notion that if you name your kid after a virtue, they might live up to that virtue. But that's risky business, isn't it? That's hubris. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your son Victor. He could end up a bit of a loser. Ernest, he could become a bullshitter. Grace is an ever-popular name. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your daughter Grace. She could end up a sort of galumphing oaf. Sacking her head on low beams. Falling into crockery at dinner parties. You'd be like, oh, come on, Grace. Do your laces up, babe. Stop farting. Prudent, she'll end up lip deep in debt, won't she? Chastity. Although my son is called Frank. Someone said to me, you've done it, innit? You've called your son Frank. That's a virtue. To be honest, to be above board, to be trustworthy. I was like, oh, shit, never thought of that. He'd end up an estate agent now, isn't he? He's funny, Frank. I think he's funny. I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I'm his mum. He's not funny. My child's funny. Tell a joke. Look at 774 pictures of my child. But I think he's funny, right? I went to pick him up from school the other day. I pick him up every day because they get proper arsey if you don't. They do. They ring you. They're like, where are you? I'm like, TK Maxx, where are you? Oh, all right then, yeah. So, yes, I went to pick him up from school. And I was late, and I wasn't being very laid back that day. I was running a bit late, a bit stressed. I had my eldest with me. I had my mate's 2 kids that were coming back for tea. I thought we'd just get him and go. He's in reception. I was like, right, we'll just get off, yeah? But the teacher stopped me. She went, can you wait, actually? Can we have a quick chat? In that, voice. So I had to arrange my face into one of those mum pretending to give a shit faces. I said, go on, what's he done? She said, do you want to tell Mummy what you did today, Frank, or shall I tell Mummy? He's got upset now. He's like, you tell Mummy. I'm like, what's he done? What? She said, look, today, Frank stuck a digit up the teaching assistant's bottom. Well, that's not ideal, is it? It's very difficult to know what to do with your face. I was going through all the faces in my phone. She said, we've talked about bodies, haven't we, Frank? And areas of bodies that we respect. I thought now would be a really bad time to go, this is awful. I mean, this is a finger up the TA's... I mean, this is now they're teaching numeracy in primary education now. Sort of like, oh, if Frank's got one finger up the TA's arse, how many fingers are still on the outside?
I'm going to explain the concept and naked attraction to you, and you're going to think to yourself, here, Suze,
previous to your gig tonight, did you nip outside and smoke some crack? Because that's how mental it is. Right, Emma, a girl walks out on stage. She's like, I'm looking for a boyfriend. And the host goes, brilliant, we've got 6 naked men in tubes behind. Then the host says to the girl, what are you looking for? And the girl will always do the same thing. She'll go, oh my God, you've really put me on the spot. And you think, no, you chose to come on this show, moron. She goes, well, I guess I'm looking for a boyfriend, but also a friend. I really like going to European city breaks, maybe someone that likes travel. And I really like music gigs as well, so maybe someone that likes music. And I guess if I'm being really honest, what I'm looking for is love. And the host goes, brilliant, let's see if you can find love by judging dongs. Okay? 6 naked men in tubes! Okay? Now, Emma, there's a screen in front of all of them. Every round, the screen goes up a little bit more to show a little bit more of the naked body. Every round, one man gets eliminated until the end. She's got a couple of nudie fellas to choose from. Okay? Now, Emma, first round, screen just goes up to the knees. There's always one bloke who's got really rough feet. Really rough. Like he was an extra in The Hobbit. And he just never took the feet off afterwards, right? Now, she clearly looked at them feet and thought, well, them trotters ain't coming home with me, right? And you think, well, that's the end for him, not the end. They don't shoot him. You think it's the end of the show for him, but it's not. It's not the end of the show, because he then has the indignity of the screen going the whole way up. So you see his penis and his face. Then he has the most awkward moment in television where he steps out of his tube, walks over to her and gives her the most uncomfortable hug you have ever seen. Where you can tell all he is thinking is, don't touch the lady with your dick. Whatever you do, don't touch the stranger with your dick. And then his sad little ass walks off stage. Now, the next round, the screen comes up to the waist. And let's be honest, it is the round we are all watching for. It's cock-a-clock. Now, it's not going to come as a surprise to any of you. There's a lot of people in this evening. I bet it doesn't come as a surprise to one person in this room. I ain't seen many willies. I ain't seen many of them. I ain't seen many willies. I'm not a connoisseur when it comes to willies. I was straight for a month when I was 18. I don't have the wrists, okay? But even to the untrained eye, there was one that I was like, oh, there's something up with him. There was something just not quite right about it. They're not meant to have a corner, are they? Halfway through, it had like a proper corner. Now, she clearly looked at that one and went, ooh. She can't do that, can she? She's got to go work on Monday. She don't want to look a bitch on TV. So instead, she has to do a little lie. Emma, see if you can see where she went wrong. She went, I'm going to have to get rid of number 4. Kind of weird dick. I'm going to have to get rid of number 4 because the way that he's standing, he doesn't really look like a very confident guy. And I'm only really attracted to really confident guys. And I thought, he has his penis out on television. How much more confident would you like this twat to be?
I wouldn't go down on a man with a vagina. Or, absolutely not. All on a man. No. Because a man's vagina would be disgusting. Like, I think it's a good thing that most women are born with them because you look after stuff. Like men, no, thank you. No. People get so angry though, man. Like, I always used to say the LGBT community, and then someone threw a bottle at me for not saying LGBTQIA+. And it's like, mate, I'm on your team. I just didn't know. Like, I didn't miss you out deliberately. Give people some credit. You've named your community after a bloody Welsh village. I'm not going to get everything right first time. Like, also, does anyone know what the A stands for in LGBTQIA? The A? Anyone? Asexual, yeah. Now that baffles me somewhat. Like, I don't understand why those people would want to be part of the same group, because that means at gay pride you've got people who are like, I'm not ashamed, I'm proud, I'm a man and I love men, you know. I'm a woman, I have sex with women. And then you've got these people at the back who are like, I want no part of this filth. Like, holding up a blank placard, like, nothing! We want nothing! And you're like, over there, that's a different march, isn't it? Surely. The problem with some sexist stereotypes, though, is that they're there for a reason, aren't they? Some questions can only be answered with a stereotype. For example, there's a stereotype that women can multitask and that men are just like, ha, the whole time. I think it's offensive to men more than anything. But some questions can only be answered with a stereotype. For example, why is it that you never hear about a woman who died wanking? It's exclusively a male method of death, isn't it? The rope around the neck and only the men. Now, this makes no sense because women masturbate. We know this. Women have masturbated since the 1980s, of course. I believe it was the sinking of the Belgrano that finally got them going. Now, statistically, there must exist women that like to strangle themselves to increase the size of their orgasm, but you never hear about them because they don't die doing it. Women seem to be able to strangle themselves and masturbate at the same time. You know why? Because they can multitask, you see. And men's like, ha! You're gonna die! Fuck it! Ha! And they die. So, some questions can only be answered with a stereotype. That's my point. But these stereotypes were obviously used in the past to kind of make life harder for women. But now, some people think maybe life is harder for men because of the whole Me Too movement. I don't know about that. But what I do know is that no man could deal with the Me Too hashtag. Like, no, not even the really woke, liberal good guys. Like, I've got a friend who's a real good guy, you know, like one of them. And he... he's always blogging about why we can't eat prawns or some nonsense. And... he's like, oh, this harassment stuff's terrible, isn't it? Oh, this harassment stuff, oh, makes you want to castrate yourself. What? That's what he said. Every man should just castrate himself. It's like, come on, mate, that's such a male response, isn't it? Because women still want to have sex, they just don't want to be harassed, right? So if women are like, hey, could you stop harassing us? And men go, oh, right, I see, well, I guess I don't need this anymore. Chop. Surely women are like, no, I still want to have sex, just more on my terms. But then we're like, no, those are your options. Either we can harass you or it's nothing. The species ends. Pick a team, Karen. Huh?
You know, when I found out that I was going to do this gig, I immediately put together a message and I pinged it out on our family WhatsApp group to my husband and my children, because that is the kind of rock and roll comic I am. And my son, my teenage son, wrote back to me at once, and his message said, "Thug life chose you, brah." And I was like, oh shit, my child has joined a gang. I mean, what kind of language is this? Thug and bra. It had 2 R's, but he's a terrible speller. And I was like, oh no. And the other thing is I thought, this message is not for me. This idiot has sent me a message by mistake, which is for a gang member. What if the next message is something much worse? And that really bothered me because, well, this was my moment. I am going to Apollo. Like, if I'm going to find out you're a criminal, can we do it next month? So I wrote back to him in all caps, because as a good Indian mother, I mainly shout at my children. I wrote back, "This is your mom." And he wrote back, "I know, gigging like a boss." Thank you. A boss. Yeah, B-A-W-S-E, boss. And also, please do remember as you listen to the rest of my set this evening that I didn't choose it, but the thug life chose me. That's right. So I have kids. Of course you love your kids and it's difficult to raise them. Small kids are very easy, I find. The biggest downside of having a very small child is they are very boring. Yeah, they want to show you they love you by talking to you all the time, but everything they know, you already know. I mean, literally zero value add in any of those conversations. But you do it anyway because they're your kids, you know? And you know what people say? Small kids, small problems, big kids, bigger problems. And the reason is that as your kids get older, you have to discipline them properly. And I find this very stressful because I'm born and raised in India. So what I consider robust, healthy, high-quality parental discipline is frowned upon in this part of the world. That's not true. It's illegal. I know because I have checked. And I want to have really well-behaved kids, but that is no use to me if I am in jail. So I had to learn what you guys do here. And the big thing here is teach your kids about action and consequence using a multitude of techniques. So you have something called star chart. You know what star chart is? Yeah, no, let me tell you, sir. Star chart is you find something vaguely not negative that your child possibly might be able to do and then work it into the conversation and give them a star. Thank you for not kicking me in the face today. Here's a star. And then the other one, action and consequence, naughty step. You've been terribly behaved. Kindly go relax on the staircase.
That's the thing is, like, I've met some crazy people and with some crazy ideologies. One of the craziest people I met, and the funniest, were these guys called the Black Israelites. If you don't know the Black Israelites, right, it's a group of black dudes in New York, right? And they think the black man's the original Jew, right? They think the white man's the devil. I mean, look, you know, they have a point, right? And they think Jesus, right, is coming back to put white people in slavery, right? Which, look, I think is messed up. Because I think white people would make terrible slaves. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, you whip them once, they run to the manager. You know, you try and give them bread and water. Is it gluten-free? No. It's not gluten-free. I know some old white woman making my dinner and stuff like, Margaret, if you make me another shepherd's pie, I'm gonna sell your ass. Stand on his porch. Start selling people. I don't know. I get called a lot of stuff now. Especially with the internet, I get called tons of stuff. I get called racist words, and I get called racist for making jokes about white people. I just want to say my mom's white. I have one at home. She's fine. I have one. I have no issues with white people, love white people, right? But everyone calls me mad things. And I'll be honest with you, when you get called a lot of stuff, you have to have like thick skin. You can't let it bother you, because it'll just get you down if you always listen to that stuff. And it's never bothered me, except for one time. Someone said something about me, and it just really basically, someone called me middle class, and it just really... I threw my avocado on the floor. I was perturbed. I was like, mother, take this away. I can't finish this avocado. Man. If you don't know Ilford, it's in between East London. Don't you cheer Ilford, goddammit. Ilford is horrible. It's in between East London and hell. That's where Ilford is. Don't want to go Ilford, right? It's that weird thing. It's like you work hard and then people think they can take away your identity from you. And that's like a weird point. It's like you can't be working class because you've worked hard. You get to play lovely gigs like this. You can't be what you are. And the thing is, like, I am working class in my heart. But there's a conflict. My brain says different sometimes. You know, like sometimes my friends will call me from prison. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. They'll call me up and they'll be like, yo, Jamali, you need to start repping for the mandem. And I go, you know what? I need to start repping for the mandem. They say, you need to start saying free the mandem. I'm like, you know what? I need to start saying free the mandem. And that's in my heart. I believe that. We should free the mandem. But then my brain goes, yes, Jamali. But now you have stuff they want to steal. If they've completed the course, maybe. I don't know. Free them up if they've, you know, if they've repented. I don't know. If they ring me up, they'll be like, yo, say free Ginger J. Free Ginger J. Say free worm. Is worm still locked up? You better free him. Say free killer. Nah, I don't know about killer, man. I'm not saying we should never free killer, just don't free him where I live. Because I live in a nice gentrified area now, just what I'm saying. So it's like, and I'm angry at gentrification, but it's hard because it's delicious. I'm drinking my latte going, oh, these hipsters, do you know? Like, so yeah, free hit killer, but just not where I live, not in my community. Because gentrification is a weird one, because does anyone remember when London was shit? Like, Hammersmith was shit. None of you would have been able to be here. It was that bad. It was never Peckham shit. Peckham was shit. I go as far as Bethnal Green and look at Peckham through a telescope. That's as far as I go. But gentrification is a weird one because can we disagree that you see like middle-class hipsters that moved to the ghetto pre-gentrification are some of the most bravest people in the world? Only a hipster can go to the hood and go, no, I see potential. Seriously, I
I am quite impressed at the number of sports that have been adapted for disabled people, though. It's nice that they are so inclusive these days. I reckon we should go further and adapt versions of classic board games as well. You could play a very special edition of Guess Who, where all the characters had disabilities. No one would ever win, because everyone would be too afraid to describe their character in case they caught offense. The questions would be fun as well. Is your person incontinent? Does your person have crayon around his mouth? Does your person have trouble speaking properly? Is your person Danny Dyer? You could also have a disabled version of Monopoly, where every space is just free parking. Speaking from the personal experience of a bloke with a disability, I think that the dating game is much harder for people like myself. I've tried speed dating. That didn't work. By the time I've typed out a sentence, it's time to move on to the next person. And I'm not looking for sympathy either. I'm just using emotional blackmail to try to get someone to sleep with me. I'll be in the bar afterwards, if any of you are interested. Yes, even you, sir. One of the main problems I have with dating is that I find it hard to approach girls in the traditional sense. I don't have the ability to chat up a woman. When I meet a girl, I have to type them up. And that just sounds wrong. You type up your dissertation, you type up your will, and you type up your letter to your grandma. There's nothing sexy about being typed up. Even if there was, when you're typing excitedly to a woman, and accidentally spell something wrong, autocorrect is a ducking nightmare. For example, I once asked a girl if she had a pen I could borrow, so I could write down her number. I didn't expect it to say, "Can I borrow your penis?" So you can imagine my surprise when she pulled it out right in front of me. It's at this point in my set when I like to remind people that I'm not related to Stephen Hawking in any way. In fact, the closest I have ever come to being Hawking is when I went to see The Theory of Everything at the cinema. It's the movie about Stephen Hawking and his life. I didn't go to watch it though. I just went so that I could sit at the back, say random sentences on my iPad, and fuck with the rest of the audience.
as you want to save animals, I'm pretty sure you're not going to do it by buying cosmetics. Pretty sure you can't walk into the body shop and buy some burdock root peppermint oil foot scrub. And some little badger somewhere in Scotland is going to go, wow, I feel a whole lot better about my life right now. Somebody's buying that burdock root peppermint oil foot scrub. I don't see the point in testing cosmetics on rabbits anyway, because they're already cute. Slather some lip gloss and eyeliner all over. Now they're all gussied up like some $3 whore. There's no dignity in that for a rabbit whatsoever. You want to test out cosmetics? Test them out on big game, because they stink. Get up under a hippopotamus there and get some roll-on deodorant under his armpit. See how fresh and self-assured he stays all day, huh? Little lip gloss on a beaver. Real beaver. Stay with me, fella. Real beaver. Right? Dam building, log-eating beaver. If he's charged through 60 logs and he's still wearing that lip gloss, that's some damn good lip gloss right there, ladies and gentlemen. You know this whole thing about, you ever meet someone famous and you tell your friends, and then they say, well, what was he like? Because all they really want to hear is that he was a prick. So they like to say Tom Cruise is the nicest guy in Hollywood. And I always think, well, if I was making $8 million a film, I'd be nice too. Jesus Christ. But I'm not sure he is that nice. Because I always read these articles about how he's so insular and he's into his Scientology and he, stays at a hotel, won't make eye contact with anyone in the hotel because he doesn't want to talk about the plots to his new films. Apparently, as if staring Tom Cruise in the face, he would just crack under pressure. What are you staring at? Hey, you want to hear about my new film? Ever seen a Tom Cruise film like he couldn't figure out the plot in about 18 seconds? Oh, Christ. He's a cocktail maker. He's a pretty good cocktail maker, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence and can't make cocktails anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better cocktail maker. A riveting piece of cinema that was. Then he's a race car driver. Pretty good race car driver, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence. Can't race cars anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better race car driver. Then he's a jet pilot. Some of you are starting to see a pattern emerge here. Pretty good jet pilot? Yes, he was. Until he had a crisis of confidence, couldn't fly jets anymore. Then I believe he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better jet pilot. Then he was a sports agent. Then he was the brother of a retarded guy. He was a pretty good brother of a retarded guy until he had a crisis of confidence and wasn't so sure he was such a good brother of a retarded guy. And then he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better brother of a retarded guy. Then he was some kind of, I don't know what he's in now, War of the Worlds. Maybe he fights the world. And you know what? I bet he's a pretty good world fighter. But at some point he'll probably have a crisis of confidence. You're going to meet a good-looking woman who convinces him it's okay to fight the world. Could be a Scrabble player for all I care. He's a pretty good Scrabble player. Until he draws all vowels. Has a crisis of consonants. And he meets a lovely Welsh woman who teaches him a lot of words he's never heard before.
It's lovely to be here. I've come all the way from Brighton. Just in case you're wondering what this haircut is about. Might be a new face for some of you people. Don't panic, the BBC invited me here because they needed a beige lesbian. So I'm just here to tick some boxes. Not your box, madam, just a metaphorical box. I'm half Spanish, that's what's happening there. I've got a Spanish mum. And she lives here in the UK. It's all very legal. She's lived longer in the UK than she's ever lived in Spain, but the brilliant thing about my mum is that she's never lost her accent. She's done very, very good. Lost her words she cannot pronounce. Lost her words she cannot pronounce, huh? My favourite word that my mum's never been able to pronounce is my brother's name.
difficult name. His name's Stephen. I don't know if you've noticed this. Spanish people, any word that begins with the letter S, they struggle, right? So my mum doesn't call him Stephen. She calls him Steven. What's his name, Mum? Steven. Is it? Isn't it just Stephen? Jennifer, I know his name is my son. It is Steven! You don't want to mess with my mum. She's not like British people here in this country. We can be quite passive-aggressive, can't we? She's just very aggressive woman. I don't know how. My mum's never really coped in this country, and I think it's because, like a lot of Mediterranean people, she's quite loud, yeah? She's got one volume. It's like this. Hello! How are you? Whereas in this country, particularly if we're middle class, we tend to be low talkers, don't we? We don't like to raise our voices, do we? Why? Because we've got money. And we just assume that if you are raising your voice, well, you're probably poor. Or worse, foreign. Great thing about having a Mediterranean mum is they feed you. Oh, my God. She's always feeding. That's her way of showing that she loves her children, is to feed us. You know, I can remember going around friends' houses, you know, like English mums. Go around an English mum's house and the conversation with mum's more like this. I think you've had enough. My mum will feed you till you puke. Anything could be going on in my life and my mum will relate it back to a meal that she's cooked. Do you know what I mean? Like, so good or bad, particularly if I'm depressed. If I phone up my mum and I've had a terrible day, yeah? I phone up my mum, conversation always goes like this. Oh, Jennifer, my God, I'm so sorry to hear that you're having a hard time right now. But you know what? Don't worry, okay? I made a soup. Come home. You sound hungry. I made chicken carne, made a lamb tagine, made a casserole, Jennifer. I made some tortillas, some paella, some curry, Jennifer. You love curry, maybe some meatballs, some pork ball, beef ball, aniseed ball, banana ball. You're a lesbian. You don't eat enough balls. Please, come home. Eat my balls.
And I love Argos, man. My woman took me there, man. I freaked out about Argos. You English people do stuff different. You got that catalog shopping at Argos. The only store where you keep the catalog at the store. Like people go, hey, do you want to go down to Argos and check out the catalog? Why didn't we bring it here? Because that's not what you do here. You're going to go down there and check if stuff's in stock or out of stock. Spend a day with it. And I'll tell you something, Argos freaked me out. First time I ever walked into Argos, they made me feel like I was a spy. Because I walked up to that teller, and I handed her this little piece of paper. And she just looked at me and went, okay. Go to checkpoint B. Yeah, I went to checkpoint B. They didn't even know who I was, man. I was like, you don't know me? I'm 376. I think you have a package for me. My woman, she loves Argos, man. My woman loves Argos because of that catalog. Women love catalogs. Catalog to a woman is like the Bible, except real. Yeah, stuff actually happens in the catalog. My woman doesn't even need to look at the index to know what page the stuff she wants is on. My woman will walk into Argos, just kick those doors open, grab her little red gambler pen there. feel lucky, Tom. She'll flip through that catalog like she was a Jedi Knight. She'll be like, that's what I want, Tom. And I'm always amazed. I'm like, wow, how'd you do that? She goes, I'll show you something else, Tom. That's what you want. And I'm standing there looking at it going, I don't even know what I want. And then I look at it and go, holy shit, that is what I want. A trampoline. Yeah, because I didn't want a trampoline for $129.95, but for $79.95, I needed a trampoline. I'm gonna tell you something, you can't just buy no trampoline. You gotta get all your trampoline trimmings. Huh? Gotta get that safety cage in case you don't know how to bounce up and down. One of these sideway bouncers. Turns out I'm a sideway bouncer. I was bouncing from side to side. I smashed my head against that safety bar, and I'm bleeding in the safety cage. Thank God that safety bar was there to stop me from landing on that soft grass.
People ask me, they say, Chris, what is it like trying to raise a child when you can't see the child? It's ups and downs, you know, ups and downs. You just got to go with the flow. Can't prepare yourself, you know. She's 3.5 now. When she was 2.5, if you haven't got kids, by the way, as soon as they get to 2, they're adorable. They just start asking questions. They want to know what everything is. You are their source of information. They want to absorb the world. My daughter, she's 2.5. She's in the bath. I'm knelt there. I'm bathing her. She's like, what's this, Daddy? What's this, Daddy? Oh, bloody no, do I? Give it here. Just give it to 2.5, but you know way more than Daddy at this point, sweetheart. She goes, what's this, Daddy? Ice cream? I was like, ice cream? Big handful of shit, wasn't it? Massive. Not like a little pebble, not like a little arse sweetness. Where did that cut? An impressive quantity for an adult male. I wasn't entirely sure the dog hadn't jumped in and done it when my back was turned and she just scooped it out. She just slapped it in there in one go. It threw me. I didn't... Look, right, I obviously didn't see it coming. I didn't even... No. I didn't even smell it coming. This came from underwater. This was a stealth move, right? And I'm not entirely sure exactly what happened. You know, I've narrowed it down to 2 options, I think. I've given it some thought. I mean, she was 2.5. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. She deserves the benefit of the doubt, doesn't she? Option 1, benefit of the doubt. This is what happened. She sat in the bath in the warm water. Yeah? She farts. She shits herself. She doesn't know she's done that. A few minutes later, that goes floating past her in the bath, doesn't it? She sees it there. She thinks to herself, I wonder what the bloody hell that is. That looks a little bit like ice cream. I know, she thinks. I'll ask Daddy about that. He knows about these things. He's a very, very clever man, yeah? That's option 1, isn't it? Benefit of the doubt. Option 2. She's a bloody comedy genius. She's sat there in the bath. She's got Mr. Penguin up here on the wall. She's got, hey, Mr. Penguin, Mr. Penguin. Get on this now. This is going to be brilliant. This is going to be amazing. Watch his face now. Watch his face. Watch. Keep looking. Keep looking. What am I going to do? Not only am I going to do a shit and put it in his hand, I bet you I can make him sniff it. Ice cream, Daddy? Ice cream, huh? We were very lucky with my daughter. Her So they say you got to watch your language around your kids, don't they? That's what they say. We were very lucky. My daughter's first words, apart from, hand on heart, apart from mama, dada, baba, all that nonsense, her first words were go away. That's what she said. That's what she said for 3 months. Go away. Go away. She thought it was just one word. Go away. Go away. Why? Because that's what me and my wife said to the dog every time we were trying to feed my daughter. We'd get the food out, wouldn't we? The dog would get up, he'd go on the prowl, having a little look, wouldn't we? We'd be like, go away, go away, go away. She just picked it up. We'd push her in the pram out on the street. She'd be like, go away, go away, go away. Said to my wife, it's a good job we weren't telling that dog to fuck off, isn't it? Because we just wouldn't be able to take this kid out of the house.
I'm going to make a concerted effort to be positive and happy, because that's what people like, apparently. And I get accused. I constantly get told I'm grumpy and miserable, and I'm not. I'm happy, I'm upbeat, I love being alive, love being a human. Being a human's unbelievable, isn't it? If you're a human, you really have nothing to moan about. I realised this year that being a human is the best on the planet. I was on a plane eating a chicken sandwich. That's not it. It's pretty good, though. I thought, I am eating a bird whilst I am flying. Unbelievable! I, a flightless land mammal, am consuming a bird in mid-air. Never mind the fact I just ordered a gin and tonic in a cloud. And it's because I think being a human is so easy that that's why I get annoyed with people, because people don't seem to try as hard as I would like them to about life. And I am a perfectionist. Give us a cheer if you're a perfectionist. Fair few of you. The rest of you are annoying. You say it now, because you go around and you make mistakes and you drop things and you laugh about it because you think it's part of life's rich tapestry. It isn't. You should be trying harder. I'm like a massive perfectionist to the point that every mistake in my life counts the same. So, in my world, dropping a spoon is the same as running someone over. In that you didn't mean to do it and you did it, so you have to get angry about it and make sure it never happens again. And I watch people make mistakes. I came into London last year to do some gigs, and I was on the London Underground. I was on the Hammersmith and City line, which, if you don't know London, is the line that goes from Hammersmith into the city. Cockneys really don't piss around when they're naming their things. Oh, bit of a tube line, Gary. It goes from Hammersmith to the city. Oh, yeah? What you going to call it? Don't muck about, Gary. Don't muck about. So anyway, I was on the Underground, sat down, and I knew I needed 6 stops to get to where I was going. And opposite me on the tube are 2 young girls. They're all dressed up. They're going out for the evening. They're laughing, they're giggling, they're joking. They're generally pissing me off. You see, I'm not a big fan of public shows of joy. You see, my motto is, there's misery in this world, you just have to look for it. And that's just, if something's broken, you can fix it, and if it's untidy, you can tidy it. And if someone's unhappy, you can make them laugh, and you've made their day a bit better. Happy people are finished, you can't help them. If you're happy, don't go out, just stay at home and enjoy walls and ceilings. And my real issue with the happy is it's happy people who make mistakes, because they're so busy enjoying life, they've forgotten to do it properly. So I was on the Underground, and these girls are laughing away, and they're a perfect example, because they're enjoying being together so much, they haven't noticed they've got on completely the wrong train. Right? So we're hurtling off in this direction, and they should actually be going in this direction. Right? So about 5 minutes in, one of the girls cottoned on, and she tapped her mate on the leg, and she went... We're on there. I would have been furious. Let's say it now, that's not funny, is it? What's happened there is you've just lost a big chunk of your life. The time you were going to spend doing the thing you've left the house to do, you will now spend correcting your ineptitude. I know some people say, once you've got on the wrong train, John, there's nothing you can do but laugh about it. But the only reason you would ever laugh in this situation is if you do this so often, you've just had to learn to find it amusing. Done it again. What are we like? I'll tell you. Shit at being alive, it would appear.
My name is Ardle. It is a real name. I am a real person. Don't worry, nobody ever gets my name right. Call me all sorts of things, Harry and Arnold and Aaron and Anal, that was one, genuinely. Yes, I heard that over a tannoy system at a theatre in Norwich. Could anal come to the stage door, please? Lovely. Me being so passive, I just turn up and go, yeah, it's me, anal, what do you want? Of course, a lot of people call me Dougal. You know why? Simply because of a character that I played in a sitcom many years ago. And just before I start, I'd like to get something off my chest, if you don't mind. Because of that character that I played in this show called Father Ted, a lot of people think I am actually stupid. I think I'm the stupidest person in the world and they feel sorry for me. Only last week someone stopped my wife in the street and said, is he as stupid in real life? And I wouldn't mind, but I was standing right beside her at the time. I'm talking to her like she's my carer, not just my wife. And this is a true story, and I'm going to tell you this and then I'm going to move on. A couple of years ago, I was in a taxi. I arrived at Dublin Airport. I live in Dublin, and I jumped into a taxi, and I asked the taxi driver to take me home. I gave him the address. I didn't just assume he knew where I lived. And the taxi driver just wanted to talk about this show that I was in, Father Ted, and he was looking at me with pity, and he actually asked me at one point, he said, do you remember being in it? This is my life. People wonder why I do this. Why I travel up and down the country week in, week out, try to convince strangers that I'm a normal, intelligent human being. Well, that's the reason. Anyway, I'm in the taxi, and I'm trying to change the subject to anything at all, sport or politics, and I'm trying to impress the taxi driver with my knowledge, and I'm using big words to impress him, like utensil and testosterone, and we were getting on fine. We were about 20 minutes into the journey. This is absolutely true. I suddenly remembered that I have a car. Some of you are ahead of me. And 3 days previously, I parked my car at the airport car park. And I just couldn't tell him. I couldn't bring myself to tell him. I know how the world works. One little slip up, you'd never be allowed to forget it. Oh, sorry, could you turn around? I'm such a big fool. No. I know he'd be telling everyone, oh, you'd never believe who I had in the car, that feckin' Egypt from Father Ted. So I let the driver take me all the way home, and as soon as he was out of sight, I called another taxi and I went back to the airport.
But we've moved now. We've moved to a place called Pinner. We only moved to Pinner because the estate agent said to us, he said, oh, Pinner is a lovely part of West London. West London. We get Welsh telly. It's not London. It's not London, but it is very nice. One of the things I like about where we live is it's very multicultural. I think that's one of the brilliant things about London. I think multiculturalism is something we really have to fight for. Like the school my kids go to, it was very easy to pick a school for my kids because obviously we just picked the one with the highest ceilings. But the school they go to, it's a really nice school and it's very diverse. Like we have a mum's night out once a month and all the mums from the school go and there are women there from every economic background, every race, every religion, and we have a fantastic time and the Muslim mums drive us home. Tell you what, it is nice. I had an incident the other day, though. I was walking down the street near where I live, and it was one of those sunny days, one of those days that remind some van drivers that women have breasts. You know, one of those. And I was walking down the street, and there was a van drove up and slowed down, and two guys leaned out of the van, and they were in classic kind of leching position. And I knew they weren't going to be looking at me because I am 44 years old. And in fact, my older friends, when I was turning 40, they said, oh, being over 40, it makes you invisible, right? And I have found, yes, that is true, but the brilliant thing is it mostly makes you invisible to dickheads. So it's not really a problem, it's a superpower, if anything. So I'm walking down the street, these two guys are leaning out of this van, and I see they're leching, but they're looking past me at a younger woman, a woman in her 20s, who is walking alongside me. And these guys do the classic thing. They lean out of the van and they gave this woman a very detailed appraisal of her anatomy. You know, they covered all the main areas in bullet-pointed form, very thorough. And then they went on to suggest what I can only describe as a smorgasbord of activities they felt they would enjoy indulging in with her were they not under pressure of time to get to the next plumbing job. So So they did all this and they drove off. And naturally, I turned to this woman and I said, oh my gosh, are you okay? That was horrific. And she said, no, I'm fine. It happens all the time. And I thought, yeah, it does when you're in your 20s, doesn't it? And we were chatting about how silly it was as we walked down the street. And then we got further down the road and the traffic had slowed down and this van had come to a stop. And I think a few years ago I would have just left it, said nothing. But this year I thought, do you know what? If I'm going to be invisible, you know who else is invisible? Ninjas. I am going to be a bloody middle-aged ninja. I'm going to strike, right? So I went up to the van and I just leaned in and I said, oh, hi, guys. Listen, sorry to bother you. I just wanted to say thank you so much for what you did back there because my son here has been undergoing a very difficult gender reassignment. He's been worried that it's not going that well, but what you did back there really made him feel like a proper woman. Thank you. I was delighted with myself as well. But what was really special was that then the young woman next to me leaned in beside me and in the deepest voice I've ever heard, just went, yeah, thanks, guys. It was a beautiful moment. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. The only thing that could have made it perfect would have been if the guys in the van had said, actually, if your child is undergoing a gender reassignment, it's incredibly insensitive of you still to be referring to her using the male pronoun. They didn't do that. They just called us slags.
We spent 10 years looking for bin Laden. We scoured 27 countries looking for bin Laden. We spent $2 billion looking for bin Laden. Where do we find him? In his house! But the reason why I love the Arabs, because the Arabs, they know how to riot, you know? Whenever there's a riot in the Middle East, the next day, regime change. In Britain, there's a riot, the next day, the middle class is with brooms tidying up, because everyone just... Arab Spring, British spring clean, just tidy up quickly. Spick and span. But the Scots didn't riot, you know, it's amazing. I was in Scotland when the riots happened, and it's amazing. I spoke to a taxi driver, he goes, there's no way we'd riot in Scotland, there's no way. People in Glasgow know, if people riot, we hit them with the water cannons, man, you know? You hit them with the water cannons and you put the blue dye, you need the blue dye in the water cannons. So when you hit them, the next day, whoever looks like a smurf, you bring them in. That's it. Simple and easy, man. You bother. Wow. But man, the Arab Spring went all around the world. It started in Tunisia, then it went to Egypt and Syria. Every country in the Middle East was galvanized, everywhere except Dubai. Because Dubai is a very interesting country. They're a bit too, there's too much money there. There were people on the streets going, what do we want? Democracy. When do we want it? After happy hour. And when you go there, they always give you some kind of, there's always a guide who goes, you come here, you come to Dubai, we are the Las Vegas of the Middle East. You want girl, we got you girl. You want drink, you can drink. You want to gamble, you can gamble. All day long, girl, drink, gamble, gamble, drink, girl. Drink, girl. You want to drink, girl, we blend, girl, you drink it. You want all three? We blend, girl, you drink it, we bet how quickly you down it in one. I said, actually, no, I'm not into that all that. I'm actually quite hungry. He goes, what do you want, my friend? Anything you want. I said, quite fancy a bacon sandwich. He went, pork? What do you think we are, infidels? This is a Muslim country. Now kindly drink your woman and leave. Applause. Applause. That means so much to me because, you know, because I'm a theatre ponce. I am deep down, I'm very uncomfortable with all this. I have to say, look, you're all here. I'm just one man in this big thing trying to make 3,600 people laugh. I'm very uncomfortable with this. No, it is because there's a thin line between being genuinely entertaining and mental illness. I've seen the tapes of I used to do Godzilla impressions, you know? What was that? Here's my impression of Godzilla having his toe stepped on. comedy, that's neurosis. Like, here's my impression of Godzilla having asked for Earl Grey tea, but actually getting a coffee. That's not comedy, that's because my father didn't love me. I'll do one more. Here's Godzilla having voted Liberal Democrat, but realising how much influence Nick Clegg actually has.
People ask me, they say, Chris, what is it like trying to raise a child when you can't see the child? It's ups and downs, you know, ups and downs. You just got to go with the flow. Can't prepare yourself, you know. She's 3.5 now. When she was 2.5, if you haven't got kids, by the way, as soon as they get to 2, they're adorable. They just start asking questions. They want to know what everything is. You are their source of information. They want to absorb the world. My daughter, she's 2.5. She's in the bath. I'm knelt there. I'm bathing her. She's like, what's this, Daddy? What's this, Daddy? Oh, bloody no, do I? Give it here. Just... You might be 2.5, but you know way more than Daddy at this point, sweetheart. What's this, Daddy? Ice cream? I was like, ice cream? Big handful of shit, wasn't it? Massive. Not like a little pebble, not like a little sweetness. Where did that cut? An impressive quantity for an adult male. I wasn't entirely sure the dog hadn't jumped in and done it when my back was turned and she just scooped it out. She just slapped it in there in one go. It threw me. I didn't... Look, right, I obviously didn't see it coming. I didn't even... No. I didn't even smell it coming. This came from underwater. This was a stealth move, right? And I'm not entirely sure exactly what happened, you know. I've narrowed it down to 2 options, I think. I've given it some thought. I mean, she was 2.5. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. She deserves the benefit of the doubt, doesn't she? Option 1, benefit of the doubt. This is what happened. She sat in the bath in the warm water. Yeah? She farts. She shits herself. She doesn't know she's done that. A few minutes later, that goes floating past her in the bath, doesn't it? She sees it there. She thinks to herself, I wonder what the bloody hell that is. That looks a little bit like ice cream. I know, she thinks. I'll ask Daddy about that. He knows about these things. He's a very, very clever man, yeah? That's option 1, isn't it? Benefit of the doubt. Option 2. She's a bloody comedy genius. She's sat there in the bath. She's got Mr. Penguin up here on the wall. She's got, hey, Mr. Penguin, Mr. Penguin. Get on this now. This is going to be brilliant. This is going to be amazing. Watch his face now. Watch his face. Watch. Keep looking. Keep looking. What am I going to do? Not only am I going to do a shit and put it in his hand, I bet you I can make him sniff it. Ice cream, Daddy? Ice cream, huh? We were very lucky with my daughter. They say you got to watch your language around your kids, don't they? That's what they say. We were very lucky. My daughter's first words, apart from hand on heart, apart from mama, dada, baba, all that nonsense, her first words were go away. That's what she said. That's all she said for 3 months. Go away. Go away. She thought it was just one word. Go away. Go away. Why? Because that's what me and my wife said to the dog every time we were trying to feed my daughter. We'd get the food out, wouldn't we? The dog would get up, he'd go on the prowl, having a little look, wouldn't we? We'd be like, go away, go away, go away. She just picked it up. We'd push her in the pram out on the street. She'd be like, go away, go away, go away. Said to my wife, it's a good job we weren't telling that dog to fuck off, innit? Because we just wouldn't be able to take this kid out of the house.
My eldest daughter bought a boy ointment recently for the first time, and I think it's quite safe to say that I reacted rather badly to this incident when it took place. She brought the individual in question into the house that I paid for with money I earned. All right, Dad, this is Billy. Yeah, Billy. Right, nice, yeah. Okay, yeah, Billy. Billy. Sweet, I'll go and put the kettle on. Daddy's going to talk to Billy. She goes to the kitchen, she doesn't realise anything's wrong. And I start reversing this little bastard around the house. Because when you're my size, you can reverse smaller men. They just back off you like that. So eventually I'll get Billy into a wall. He can't go any further. And I'm like, William. If you as much as touch her, I will cut you. At which point, young Billy started crying. But that is 6-year-olds for you, because they can't really, you know? That was the joke. This is the true version of events. How can I start this? Okay, so the other day, my wife and I had a meeting that I did not know was a meeting. I got in, and there was tea, and there was biscuits. And I thought, brilliant. And I sat down, and I'm drinking, oh, Viscounts, I love them. Oh, didn't even take the foil off. Oh, these are, oh, my, love a Viscount. And she goes, yeah, we've got to have a chat about Emily. I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah, what's going on? She goes, yeah, she's having a sleepover on Friday. I should have pointed out earlier that this is just after my daughter turned 16. That's a very important number to bear in mind. She said, yeah, Emily's having a sleepover on Friday. I went, all right, do you want me to buy pizzas? No. Because there's only one person coming. Oh, right. Right, shall I just buy one pizza? Stop talking about pizza. She's having a sleepover, and it's Stephen. What, the boyfriend? Yeah. Oh, where's he going to sleep? in Emily's room. Where's she going to sleep?
I've got the memory of an elephant. I remember one time I went to the zoo and saw an elephant. I was disappointed to find that Dunkirk wasn't actually a biography of William Shatner. I accidentally kicked my dog early and it bit me on the bollocks. My mate said it's karma. I said, no, if anything, it's even more angry. I tell you what always catches my eye, short people with umbrellas. I put on a lot of weight, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, it's an emergency, can you send somebody round? And they said, yes, we can, we got loads of them. I was actually thrown out of Weight Watchers for making sarcastic comments at the weekly weigh-in. As you can imagine, I accepted the decision with huge grace, because they threw her out as well. I was watching TV, the announcer said there's a documentary about the clitoris on the red button, but I couldn't find it. I was in a fancy lingerie shop. I said, are these knickers satin? He said, no, they're new. I didn't know what to get my little niece for Christmas, so I asked my sister what she's into. Apparently at the moment she's mad about frozen stuff, so I got her some oven chips and peas. It's been a tough week. I got myself a memory foam mattress and now it's trying to blackmail me. As a child, I was made to walk the plank. We couldn't afford a dog. I went on a positive thinking course. It was shit. You would be. And it was half empty. The area in a Nando's between the front and back door is called the peri-perineum. What I like most about that joke is that people who know what a perineum is usually haven't heard of Nando's. Ironically, there's only a very small overlap between the two. The doctor told me to lose some weight. I said, how? He said, don't eat anything fatty. I said, what, pies, chips, that sort of thing? He said, no, just don't eat anything fatty. Old lady names are very much back in fashion at the minute, like Lily or Elsie or Rose, and we wanted something like that for our daughter, but we couldn't decide, so in the end we just called her Nan. So we shall grow into it.
The problem is the builders, my dad's mate, he's a proper geezer, proper South East London geezer. One of those builders, you know that walk? Just walks like that, his legs like he's got a pool table between his legs. And he walks like that, and also he's got those really thin jogging bottoms. You know those like grey jogging bottoms that builders wear? I don't know where they get them from. They're so thin, and it just grabs onto anything that's there. I feel like I'm getting stared out by his knob and balls as he comes in. And sometimes it's weirder than him being naked. I don't know why. It feels more intrusive. He's like, hello, son, what we got here? I don't know. Everything's walking around like that. I reckon I could draw his knob and bollocks from memory better than mine. So he's coming like that. And I'm like, oh, God. I go, do you want a cup of tea? He goes, yeah, I'll have a cup of tea. I went, how many sugars? He went, 13. That's not a cup of tea anymore, it's a pudding. That's an Angel Delight of a tea bag, innit? 13 sugars, how'd our mate sticking it in? It's about £3 worth of sugar. He's only come round for a quote, it's already cost me. I put 14 in to test him. Give it him. He went, it's a bit sweet, innit? You winding me up, you know me on 13, you greedy bastard. Old type 2 Terry's come round and it's a bit sweet for him, is it? When are you going to do this job? I want it done before your foot comes off, all right? Anyway, I had a Kit Kat in the fridge, right? I thought, right, let's get him back on side of Kit Kat, right? He's into sugar. I like introducing people to new things, see if he wants a Kit Kat. 4-finger Kit Kat. Like, how would you eat a Kit Kat? 4 fingers? I've said that wrong, haven't I? I thought you looked at me funny. Sorry, I said that like it was your name. What I meant to say... I don't know what I meant to say. I meant to how would you eat a 4-finger Kit Kat? But I went, how'd you eat a Kit Kat? 4 fingers. Oh, hello, 4 fingers, how's it going? Who needs funds, eh? Me to smoke by the looks of things. Sorry about that. Not an ideal nickname for a young lady, is it, really? So what would you do? 1 finger at a time? Is that what you'd... Should we start again? Sorry, what's your name? Anita. Nice to meet you, Anita. Sorry for calling you 4 fingers. Anyway, Anita, how'd you eat a Kit Kat? That's what I was going for. 1 at a time. 1 at a time, right. 1 at a time's a normal approach to a 4th. Got there. Yes. Anyway, One at a time's the normal approach to a four-finger Kit Kat, isn't it, right? I gave this builder a four-finger Kit Kat. He picked it up, put the whole thing in his mouth at once. Bit into it like he was eating a bun. Dirty ogre sugar bitch. What kind of animal is one popping a four-finger Kit Kat?
I've made a list of pros and cons, because I've been spending a lot of time in brothels and prisons. Made a list of pros and cons, always good, give you a bit of balance, Con, complete loss of all feelings of hope and possibility. It doesn't sound very good, does it? It doesn't sound much fun, does it? Pro, increased plug socket access. 1-1. I say increased. It's actually total plug socket access. I've got 32 plug sockets in my house. Each and every one of them is now under my sole domain. Con, all experiences that formed the basis of my happiness and sense of self-worth are now destroyed by grief. Downer. A bit of a downer, isn't it? Pro, less recycling. I can fit it all in the green box now. It's remarkable when you take into account just how much I'm drinking. Oh, John, you're meant to heat mulled wine. All right, Your Highness, hand me the bottle and leave. Con, I'm gonna lose me house. Bit of fun. Pro, 25% off council tax. I was on that like a ferret. Dialing as the door slammed. And that's us fresh out of cons. The rest are just pros, guys. Yeah. Increased freezer space, all 4 drawers. Cheaper gas and electric. Reduced wear and tear on fixtures and fittings. And when I say reduced, I don't mean by half, because I was only ever responsible for about 10% of scuffs and spills. So we're looking at a net reduction of 90% in real terms. This is my favourite one. Ultimate control over where the iPhone charger cable is and why it is there. There was a time it would take hours to answer the questions, where is the iPhone charger cable and why is it there? Not anymore. Plugged in next to the bed, most convenient place to have it. Simple. Is it unplugged in the bathroom? No, it's not. Be a ludicrous place to keep it. There's no plug socket in the bathroom. Is it in the front pocket of a rucksack you no longer use? That'll be the last place you look. That'll be very frustrating. Is it plugged in on a train we have alighted from? No. It's plugged in next to the bed because that's the most convenient place to have it.
That has done me the world of good. Thank you for that. Because I was waiting back there behind the big billboard, absolutely terrified. I'm not a natural performer. I'm not, although I have been doing this talk around the country for about 2 months now. I won't lie to you, it's not been going very well. I think the worst one was Folkestone. I have never seen an audience turn so quickly. Rushing at the stage, anger in their faces. Refund! Refund! It was horrific. I'll try and paint a picture for you. Youngsters will know what I'm talking about. Are there any youngsters in the... You can relax, sir. Well, there's a youngster. What is your name, sir?
Riyadh.
What's that?
Riyadh.
Riyadh. What?
Riyadh with a Z.
Riyadh with a Z. Yeah. All right, it's not Sesame Street. Riaz, how old are you?
18.
18? Shouldn't you be wearing a hooded top? Get out of my shopping centre! Riaz. Don't laugh at Riaz, please. You'll know what I mean, Riaz, when I talk about stage diving. Are you familiar? You won't know what I'm talking about, sir, but this is when a rock star, like a Kurt Cobain or a Duncan from Blue, they run and they leap. And you're right to be afraid. You're right to be afraid. They leap onto the audience, Riaz. It's terrifying. The audience grab hold of them and manhandle them. Turning them around like that, all over the place. Terrifying. Now, what happened at Folkestone was almost a complete reversal of that. with people just rushing at the stage. It was appalling. But I don't think we're going to have a repeat of that tonight. I don't. Because I'm already getting a lot of warmth from you. I am. To quote the great Darius Danesh, there's a lot of love in the room. There is. And a wide range. We've got Riaz with a Z. No one can take that away from you, Riaz. I wouldn't try to. You'd whip out your hooded top and you'd happy slap me into submission. But it's a friendly crowd. We've got a proper... Look, here we go. Right down in the front, there's a chap here wearing a T-shirt with a slogan on it. Unbelievable. A grown man. What is your name, sir?
Chris.
Chris, with a Z? Riaz, you're one up. You're ahead. I'll bet there aren't many other people in the whole building who have a Z in their name, in all honesty. Unless Zebedee's joined us tonight, which I think is unlikely. So you're a Chris.
Yes.
Chris. And what's the idea with the T-shirt, Chris? Is it Rag Week? We're here to talk about relationships. Let's crack straight on with the first slide. Making... Don't laugh at that. That's not meant to be funny, please. Let's not have another Folkestone on our hands, please. Making divorce work. Now, given that it is a rocky ride, an emotional roller coaster, I start off with a joke, ladies and gentlemen, just to loosen us up. Here it is. If you're going to get divorced, you have to be like the man in the toll booth. Why is that, Keith? Well, you have to be willing to accept, this is the joke, change. It's a zinger. When you divorce, there is sweeping change. Change is right across your life, in every area. One of the first things to change is the locks. You may come... Please don't laugh at that, please. You may come home one day and find that your key no longer fits your wife's lock. Another man's key is fitting your wife's lock. And stop that! Stop it! Stop! I'm stamping on that. Riaz, with a Z, please. Stop it. It's not that sort of a show. Well, I mean, it's not a show, is it? It's a talk. But it's not smutty. So you may come home and find that your key no longer fits the lock. Good. Yes, it can. And it can be very difficult to tell why a relationship is going to go wrong. Why is that? Well, I think it's because at the beginning of any relationship, when two people get together, there's always a sense of what? Hammersmith, at the beginning of a relationship, a sense of... Pardon? Worry. No. Anyone else? At the beginning of a relationship, a sense of... Foreboding. Foreboding is the wrong answer. Lust, no. Uncertainty. There's always a sense of uncertainty. A feeling of will they, won't they? And there's no way of... Please, Hammersmith, take it seriously. We're talking about emotions. A sense of will they, won't they? And there's no... Hammersmith, I will walk off the stage, please. There's no way of predicting when a couple get together whether or not the relationship will work. Will it last a long time? No. Not a chance in hell. Will they stick together? No, no. Will the marriage endure? Yes. Yes. Lee and Leslie. Now, Lee and Leslie are a lesson to us all. They've made a marriage work. So why is it then that when they can make a marriage work, so many others can't? Paul Simon said, there are 50 ways to leave your lover. 1. Hammersmith, time out. Please start to take it seriously. 1. Slip out the back, Jack. 2. Make a new plan, Stan. And 48 others. I'm freaking out. So the head hangs there for about 10, 12 minutes. Finally, the midwife says, it's almost here. It's time. If your wife gives one more chat with our son, who was a little boy, out, and he was there in my hands, all warm and new, and it's one of the most overwhelming things you will ever do. And I tell you now, I was in pieces. I was in floods of tears. My wife was crying. The midwife was crying. And your mind just becomes a mush. I mean, to this day, I can't explain why I did what I did next. It was so emotional. Maybe it's because I'm Welsh, I don't know. But I went... Well, thank God we hadn't cut the cord. He shot back! It was Junior Bungee. He ended up lying on the floor with all this umbilical cord snaking around the room back to his mother, yards of it. I thought, what the hell do we do now? I needn't have worried. Calm as a cucumber, the midwife walked over to my wife. She put her left foot on my wife's right foot and pressed hard. And just like a Hoover, the cord went... And that's why we called him Henry.
that have come out of this pandemic. I do. And I think one of the major good things that's come out of it is how we've embraced new technology. Isn't it? Because it's just unbelievable. Who knew what Zoom was 2 years ago? None of us. Like last week, I had to do a speed awareness course online. Now, you should be doing that on something called Zoom, but that's the world we're in now. It's the world we're in. I've got a phone that can recognise my face. That already makes it better than my nan. Come on! I embrace new technology. I do, because could you imagine if this pandemic had happened like 30 years ago? No internet, no Zoom, no Pornhub. I don't know why I looked at you, sir, but I did. Because I think we've forgotten, here in 2021, we've forgotten what really being bored feels like. Like proper bored. My friend's little boy said the other day he gets bored waiting for an app to load. Fuck off, mate. That is not boredom, is it? I'm talking Sunday afternoon in the 80s. That was boredom. When it was raining, you'd read every book in the house. I grew up in Maidstone. That's a Mills and Boon and an Argos catalogue. Your mum's watching something black and white on the only telly in the house, so you listen to your Walkman for a bit, but the batteries are dying, so Madonna's Like a Virgin sounds like Barry White singing it. You can't go Ashby's, can you? You can't, because all the shops are shut. And I mean, all the shops are shut. Even the petrol stations are shut. And then when you think your day can't get any more tedious, your dad would go, get in the car, everyone. We're going to go and visit someone. That's what we do, isn't it? On a Sunday afternoon in the 80s, we would visit people for no reason other than to ruin their day. Do you know what? Young people don't believe this when you tell them. We never told them we were coming. Could you imagine doing that to someone today? They'd be livid, wouldn't they? We used to spend every Sunday with people wishing that they'd hoovered and we'd fuck off, didn't we? I'm right, aren't I? The only people who phoned ahead in the 1980s were the IRA. Fact. I wouldn't be a teenager now, though, would you? I wouldn't be a teenager now. When I think of the things I did when I was a teenager, the thought of that being on the internet forever makes me feel physically sick. It does. The way they have to communicate with each other is something I just can't understand. You know, sexting. I couldn't write a sext. I don't know what to put in a birthday card. When I was a teenager, if I wanted to leave a sexy message for a boy, I'd have to ring his landline and leave a message with his mum. You're into what, dear? All over your what? Different times, isn't it? Different times. There was a boy I fancied at school. I couldn't text him to write him a note, stick it in his school bag. And I'd make him a mixtape. Write him a poem. That's all we had, didn't we? I genuinely think a 14-year-old girl today, she would be more freaked out if you sent her a poem than if you sent her a picture of your knob. Poem would freak her out more. She'd be with her friends going, I mean, it was like a song, but it wasn't a song. And there was no cock in it. Not even a bollock, no. Different times, you know. Different. Apparently, young people today, they are most likely now to have their very first sexual experience online. By FaceTime or Skype. They're not even in the same room. You've got one teenager in this house on their phone and the other teenager in this house on their phone, and that's how they're having their first sexual experience. And I just think, do you know what? Getting fingered behind a caravan at a fairground is not ideal. But at least I was getting some fresh air.
Some people find very strange things entertaining. There are people out there, some people love scary movies. Ugh, I hate scary movies. They're too scary. They scare the shit out of me. Every time I see a scary movie, I'm scared for days. I hate them, but there are people who love them. There are people like that who actively seek them out, who actually enjoy the sensation of being scared by a movie. I've never understood that attitude at all. I've never been frightened in real life and gone, oh, Jesus. Yeah, I'll pay for that. Yeah, all right. That felt horrible. 13 pounds? Sure, yeah. Let's go now. Ridiculous. My friend's like this, right? My friend Jason loves scary movies. Jason can't get enough of scary movies. Absolutely loves scary movies, Jason. Jason is black, which I only mention because you imagined him white, and he isn't. That's it. His race is not relevant to the joke. I just don't see why he should have the wrong picture. But Jason loves scary movies, and he's always trying to get me to go see him with him, go to the cinema and see scary movies with him. But I'm like, Jason, I don't want to pay money to feel worse. That's an illogical exchange. That's a bad transaction, Jace. I don't want to do that. I was thinking about it. It's such a first world privilege. Don't you think? To enjoy scary movies. What a first world Western privilege. I mean, how comfortable is your life that you have to go out and buy a ticket just to know what it's like to feel under threat? You know, no one in the Democratic Republic of Congo saw The Grudge, you know? They don't need that shit. They got real life stuff to deal with. I guess it's a masochism, right, to enjoy a scary movie. A masochism to derive a pleasure from a pain. And I understand masochism, I have to say I do, because I love spicy food. Love spicy food. It hurts me, I'm a little Asian god, but I love it. And if you think about it, spicy foods are actually a lot like scary movies, you know? If it's good, you feel alive. If it's really good, you shit yourself. What else about me? I'm 26. I'm 20 goddamn 6. People often think I'm older. because although I am 26, I look terrible. I look gross and old, I guess. Mothers, lock up yourselves. Old Wang's on the prowl. He gonna get you. I'm a bit fat, I suppose. I don't look great. I'm a bit fat. I don't struggle with my weight. People my shape and size often say they struggle with their weight. They're always very sad. Oh, I struggle with my weight. Oh. I don't struggle with my weight. Struggle implies that I fought back at some point. I didn't. I helped. I was very much an accomplice to my weight. I was no barrier of entry to my weight. My weight knocked at the door and said, "Can I come in?" And I said, "Can I keep playing video games and touching myself?" And my weight said, "Yeah." "Oh, come in!" Take off your shoes, though. Chinese house. I've been trying to work on my look, though. I've been trying to look better. I'm trying to work on my look. I think it's important for all of us to have a distinct look that we like and to accomplish it as best we can. And so I have settled on the look of Cambodian dictator. It's a pretty strong look. It's been getting me a lot of respect recently. Mainly from Cambodian people. But then I got fun shoes at the end. Racist people think that I'm barefoot, but there you go.
I've had. It's a political rally now, don't worry. There'll be levels of knobhead. There'll be levels. Lovely. I think she's despicable. No, I don't have a problem with Muslims in Birmingham at all. Happy to have them. I think they add to our city and to our culture. I think the big problem we have in Birmingham, it's happening around the country, actually. We have a lot of artisan coffee shops. Boycotting them now, boycotting them. Oh, we've got a 24-hour Starbucks as well. Nobody asked for one. We've got one. The staff at 4 a.m. Genetically closer to a mob.
It was actually quite romantic how me and my boyfriend met. It was through a friend in a park, and it wasn't on Grindr though, because that's usually how. Because like straight people, you've got Tinder, and Grindr is like Tinder, except it tells you how far gay people are away from you in feet. Like, why would you ever need to know on your phone how far a gay person is away from you in feet, like some kind of sat-nav to find them? If anything, Grindr should be for homophobes. If you're terrified of gay people, that's a handy application to have on your phone. Just walking down the road going, "Oh, Jesus, I'm not going that way now. Oh, my God, I'm surrounded." How'd you get out of this church? Thank you very much. Did you have the thing, by the way? Did you have the thing of during lockdown, your brain would be remembering cringy stories from your past that you'd forgot about happening? But for some reason, your brain was like a sibling waking you up at 4 o'clock in the morning going, "Oh, I know it's 4 o'clock in the morning and you're trying to sleep, but do you remember when you shot yourself?" I'll be back in an hour with another one. Because some of the date stories I was remembering, I was like, "Oh no, that was horrendous. I can't believe I did that." Because on dates, I would get so nervous that I would do stupid voices to try and make them laugh, which is cute, but not sexy in the slightest. Nobody's ever gone, "I didn't find him attractive." And I thought, no, I'm not going to go back to his. But then he did Kermit the Frog, and immediately I was turned on. "You want to come back to my house with Kermit? It'd be really hot." And on a date, a guy told me he was a massive Lord of the Rings fan. And when he told me that, I thought, I'll save Gollum for dessert. And when he said to me, Larry, I've got to go and get my taxi, it took me by surprise. And instead of going, oh, before you go, I've got this wee Gollum impression you might enjoy, instead I panicked, dropped my cutlery and grabbed his hand and led him out of the restaurant as Gollum. So the last thing he can remember of me, and everyone else in the restaurant can remember of me, is me going, come with me, master. Stupid fat Hobbit needs to go and get a taxi. Oh, but no, we don't want master to leave us. Precious master, don't abandon your Smeagol. And halfway through doing it, I became more self-aware. And I looked up at him and I thought, he's not finding this funny at all. But I thought, it's going to be weirder if I stop halfway through. Because if anything, that's more creepy, going, master, please don't leave me, no. Nice meeting you, man. Let's do this again sometime. Thank you so much.
I love football. I love almost everything about football. There's one thing I don't like, and that is the sexism. Like, obviously, that's a little bit difficult. Because there's still a certain type of bloke that seems to think that, like, I can't know as much about football as he can, right? It's like he doesn't think I've got time to both watch Match of the Day and buy sanitary products. But the key thing about that is you stockpile in the summer. So you're ready for when the season starts in the winter. I love these guys, though. I call them the proper footballing geezers. You've probably seen them knocking around. They're big guys, massive fucking heads, big thick neck veins where they store all of their repressed emotions. Weirdly, they're always very active on Twitter for some reason. And they'll always have a Twitter handle which is like @MillwallMike69. And then you'll click onto their Twitter profile and their bio will always say something like, love my kids, hate nonces. And you're sort of thinking, come on, mate, pick a side. I love these guys, though, because they've recently found me on social media. And what they love doing is they love doing sassy little snarky comments underneath my stand-up videos. And they do these sort of sick burns. And there's a phrase that I've sort of started noticing recently that they're all using. So what they've all said under my stand-up videos is this phrase. They say, Lewis Capaldi looks like he's let himself go. Which pisses me off, because Lewis Capaldi's already let himself go. I think what they're trying to do by comparing me to a plus-size man is to imply that I'm ugly. It doesn't bother me as an insult. Honestly, it doesn't bother me as an insult. I know that I'm ugly. Not in a self-deprecating way, just in the way that all British people are ugly. Do you know this? You are absolutely vile. I'm sorry if you don't know this, you're absolutely vile, OK? And I didn't know this until recently when I started travelling outside of the UK in the last couple of years. Everything they say about us is true. Okay? But it's not your fault. The reason that we're ugly is because, and I'm specifically talking about white British people here, I don't want to draw anyone else into our ugly mess. The reason that we're ugly is because back in the day, the Vikings came over, stole all of our hot women, took them back to mainland Europe, which is why everyone in Sweden is smoking hot, and we look like someone put a wig on some Billy Bear ham. But it had an amazing reaction, because it meant that we had to develop great personalities. Because you never heard someone go, this is my Swedish friend, he's a laugh. So I would say that I'm British hot, which is ugly but a hoot. So I love football, as I say, and I kind of get these blokes that are a bit toxic, because football makes me toxic too. I do worry about my toxicity, though. Like, I've got a girlfriend now, and I don't let her watch the football, because she saw me watch the football once, it almost ruined our relationship before it had even started. So what happened was, she came into the living room, she said to me, Chloe, why are you laughing? And I had to explain that Chelsea had just gone 3-2 down, and the camera had panned to a crying child.
I've got 6 6 kids. Can you believe that? I know. 3 of them born in the same month. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And I will explain myself so I don't seem like a man whore to you guys. The 3 of them are all of the same lady. They are different ages, but they're all born in the same month. That baffled me for years. How do you get 3 kids, same lady, different ages, same month? People, I had to take a calendar and work this one out. I did. I had to count 9 months back from their birthday. Turns out it's my frickin' birthday. These are my little birthday presents, don't you know? You lot can clap and laugh and everything. When is my birthday now? I don't want no punani. She can be that shit. That's expensive fanny right there, innit? There's a lot of stuff I liked about parenting, and there's a lot of things I didn't like doing. I didn't like doing shit like, for instance, the school Christmas play. Have you not ever been to a primary school Christmas play? What a load of shit. It is. Come on now, there's no kids in here. What a load of shit. If you've never been, I'll explain. First, they usher you into the assembly hall. And they sit us down, big grown folks, on them little miniature chairs. You ever seen them? Look at the size of me, I can't fit in one. They either do that or they sit you down on that long apparatus bench. Remember the long? That's what they sit big people down on for hours. So by the time you try to get up, you've got rigor mortis in your back. Not comfortable. 2, I've noticed of recent, these kids don't seem to rehearse their part they got in the Christmas play. Do you remember when we were younger? Everybody wanted a part in the Christmas play. Whether it was the top part or you could be a tree. It didn't matter. You was gonna play the best tree ever. You'd be in the front room like a dickhead for hours swaying. Asking Mum, how does that look? How does it look, Mum? How does it look? But we practice. And then they start singing. Fucking horrendous. It is. I don't care what you got to say. It's horrendous. They're out of tune and everything. You think, what kind of production is this? Worst part about it, your child always try to look out for you, don't they? To try to give you a little wave. My children always do that. Look out for me to wave at me like I freaking know them. You know what I mean? You're your mother's child today, boy. That's like that, innit? This embarrassment. Mums, you lot love it. You lot video it all the time. That's like, don't send me that bollocks. Send it to your mum and your sisters. They are. Didn't enjoy that. Didn't enjoy them cooking at school and bringing that poison on for me tonight. Do you know what I mean? I know, it's poison. Don't eat from these kids. They're looking early inheritance. Don't eat from them. Don't eat from them.
I'm used to my appearance provoking the full spectrum of facial reactions everywhere I show up, and you absolutely did not let me down. You were delighted, weren't you? You gave me some wonderful face when I came up here. You looked at me like your mother-in-law just cancelled dinner. I've been lucky enough to travel, and I'll never forget my first trip to Australia. I went to a place called Perth. I got off the plane. First person that saw me said the following. Hey, mate! Hey, mate! Why is Freddie Mercury wearing a kimono? Huh. Hey, mate, why is Freddie Mercury wearing a kimono? Now, this man opened the interaction with the words, hey, mate. Our eyes met, right? I was the mate. Case closed. Then he said, why is Freddie Mercury wearing a kimono? I looked around, there was nobody else there. I was persons 1 and 2 in the rhetorical question. I've never met this man, and already, grammatically, I'm on the back foot. I wasn't going to put up with that. You would have been proud of me. You can't show any weakness. I summoned up every ounce of testosterone in my body, and I fired it ocularly at this chap. And I said, I think you'll find that this is a smoking jacket. Yeah, I showed the bugger. There's a lot that's not made sense, though, and one of the things that I still struggle with to this day is how uptight us Brits are. I didn't realise in the UK, how are you is a rhetorical question. How are you is a rhetorical question. If somebody from the UK asks you how you are and you tell them, they would be mortified. Now, there are geographical anomalies, I'm delighted to say. If you ask somebody from Liverpool how they are, they will tell you. 10 times out of 10, and I love them for that. Now, from personal experience, they oscillate wildly between 2 very distinctively different states. The first one is thus. How am I? I'm sound, mate. I'm buzzing. I'm having a belter. Do you know what? Work sound. Aaron Dawes is sound. Even our Anthony's being sound. Look at the weather, lad. Cracking the flags. I love you, cadet. Apologies for the accent, by the way. I have the ability to blend in seamlessly with my environment wherever I go. I feel an energy, I match it, we become almost indistinguishable. Silly. Now, that's the first state. Now, the second state of Scouse being is rather different, and it is as follows. I'm fuming, lad. Oh, don't you start, lad. I am fuming here, mate. I'm fuming. I am fuming. I'm up the wall with work. I've seen me arse with my dad. Everton are being shite again. You're doing my fucking head in. I am fumigating naked.
Oh, we have a great show for you tonight. We have a fantastic show. Very funny comedians. I know funny. I do very funny. People always ask me who I think is funny. That's the number 2 question I get asked as a comedian. The number 1 question I get asked as a comedian is, have you ever died? As soon as you tell someone you're a comedian, first thing they want to know, oh, you ever died? Oh, what's it like when no one laughs? Oh, tell us about the worst gig you've ever had in your life. Please, relive for me, in minute detail, the worst moment of your professional career. Have you ever really died? It's like saying to a doctor, tell us about the last patient you lost. What happened? With the family crying. I bet they were they? Yeah. People are such ghouls. It's the number 1 question. Have you ever died? Number 2 question, though, is what makes you laugh? People always want to know that from me. Who do you think is funny? And that's a nicer question. That's more understandable. You know, I make people laugh. People want to know what makes me laugh. In the same ways you might say to your hairdresser, who cuts your hair? Or you might say to someone in an Audi, who do you think drives like a cock? Same kind of thing. I like that joke. It's a short joke. It's a sharp joke. And also with that joke, I get to spot every Audi driver in the room. I can just see it there. Pinched expression on your face there. All right, no need to be like that about it. I've done well for myself. It's a very reliable machine. And the fact that I can tell you're an Audi driver by the expression on your face means technically you've just given a form of indication. So well done. Good for you. Who knew you could do it? Yeah. Have you ever died? Who do you think is funny? You always get asked the same questions. That's why I don't like doing interviews. I love doing this job. This is great. I love standing here talking to you, though. But doing interviews, it's a necessary evil. It's part of the job. I having to answer questions. And I don't even like watching interviews. You'd rather watch a comedian tell jokes than talk about how they wrote them. You'd rather watch a singer sing songs than talk about their inspiration. You'd rather watch a sports person do their sport. You'd certainly rather watch a sports person do their sport. Come on now. Sports interviews can be turgid affairs at best. And then I hit it with my foot. You mean you kicked it? If you like. They're really interesting. They're really, and I'm not slagging sports people. It takes a great deal of single-mindedness to excel at a sport to a point where people want to interview you about it. But sports people are famous because they're good at sport, not because they're good at talking about sport. That's why you find a sports person who is good at talking about sport, the BBC will cream their knickers over them. We found a woman. She used to ride horses. That's a sport. And she's quite lively and engaging and charismatic. Put her on absolutely everything! Do not let her out of your sight. Even people I'm a fan of. Andy Murray. I love Andy Murray. Britain should be very proud of Andy Murray. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon. He's Olympic gold medalist. And he put up with a lot of shit when he was, what, 8th best in the world? Oh, you bloody loser, you. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon, he's Olympic gold medalist, he's magnanimous in victory, he's humble in defeat. And he's a big comedy fan. He's been to see me live, I've met him, lovely bloke. But Jesus Christ. I cannot listen to him drone on one more time about how he won, stroke lost another tennis match. I can't do it. Well, then I hit it to him, and he hit it back to me, and I'm very good at tennis, but he is also very good at tennis. Some days I'm better at tennis than he is, but I think what's happened today was he was slightly better at tennis than I am, and that's maybe why he won the game of the tennis. Oh, for God's sake, man! I'm not very sporty, you can probably tell. I like hill walking. Doesn't really count as a sport. I like hill walking and camping. Proper camping, though. None of your glamping bullshit. Glamping. Derivation of the words glamorous and camping, where you stay in a yurt, which is more expensive than a hotel. What is wrong with you? A lot of people don't realise yurt is a derivation of the words yura and twat. A lot of people don't realise that.
We need to bring back a sense of consequences for our actions. In this world, there are no more consequences for actions, yeah? And what I'm talking about, if there's no consequences in this life, what we need to do is bring back to Britain a simple sense of hell. The idea, if we screw up in this life, right, we will burn in sulphur for all eternity in the next life. Now, this is quite a tough sell, right? You don't like that idea, do you? Right, but hear me out. This is a good idea. We got any Christians present? I need your assistance. Any Christian people here this evening? Yeah. In the pink shirt. What's your name, son? Josh. Fantastic. You're a Christian? So you understand the idea of redemption, eternity, resurrection, eternity in particular. And I do too. I understand the notion of eternity because I went to church on Sunday. Let me tell you this. That service went on forever. Right? If it took me an hour to open a bottle of wine, I'd be drummed out of business. Now, the point is this. How long does it take to own a packet of crisps? Get on with it. We need to bring back... Now, the problem with the idea of hell is no one's frightened of it. Now, I'm going to describe hell for you now, and none of you are going to bat an eyelid, right? And while your body's boiling in the mouldering in the grave, we'll take your soul and boil it in boiling oil for 1,000 millennium. Then after that, 2 sulphurous demons, emissaries of Satan himself, will come along, pull out your kidneys and set fire to them on the red-hot coals of hell itself. Then after this, another demon will come along, pull out your eyeballs, stick them on a red-hot poker, burn them on the hot coals of hell, and stick them up your arsehole, and they'll come out your own mouth with the shit on it. And this will go on forever. So you're not bothered by that, are you? In fact, most of you are laughing at it, huh? In fact, most of us, being British, are thinking, well, come on then! Call yourself the devil! And that's the interesting thing about hell, isn't it? When you describe it, when someone describes hell, it tells you everything you need to know about that person, right? And what he's like and what his people are like. And I describe hell then in a normal British accent, which tells you that we, the British, are stoic, tough people who could take absolutely bloody anything. Right? And that's the interesting thing about hell. It tells you about the people telling you about it. Hell, in a French accent, for instance, sounds like a recipe. And while the body is lying down on the worms inside the flesh, we take out the soul and place it in very hot oil for a long time. Then, once it is tender, 2 demons come together at once, remove the kidneys and place them on the hot coals with a little white wine vinegar, some sea salt, and some rosemary, and cook them till they're brown on the outside, but still pink in the middle. Then after this, we take the eyeballs, place them on the hot coals, cook them till they're crunchy on the outside, runny in the middle, on the hot poker, stick them up the arse, they come out the mouth with the shit on. It is delicious. Absolutely magnifique. Hey, you see? Perverts! Perverts, basically, yeah? Hell, in a Dutch accent, sounds like a pretty good stag do, doesn't it? Hey, and while your body is lying down, we'll take you to the hottest place you can imagine. Imagine the hottest place you can go, yeah? Now go even hotter. And two demons will come together and rub oil all over your body. Two demons together. Two demons together at once. And then you will take out your kidneys. Oh, your hot kidneys. Your hot kidneys. And place the kidneys in a hot place and cook the kidneys till they're hard, until your kidneys are hard. And then take out your eyeballs and stick them in your bum hole. And this will cost you 45 euros. Hey, I mean, really? Sounds like an agreeable weekend.
I just don't know how to relax. A friend of mine, when he wants to relax, he listens to whale song. You know those tapes of whales singing? They go... I think, firstly, they're not singing, are they? No, they're faxing. Really long fax. Like the one I asked my brother to send me. That time I ran out of toilet paper. Shops were shut. But also, they can't be relaxed. They've got to be the least relaxed animals on the planet, whales, haven't they? For starters, they're endangered. Is that relaxing? There's only 10 of you left. Fine! As long as I'm one of them. If I'm feeling a bit horny, I'll sellotape a couple of dolphins together. But not only are they endangered, they're the biggest animals on the planet, whales, aren't they? They're enormous. Me doing that doesn't really get across how big they are. They're massive. But they eat the smallest, don't they? Plankton and krill, tiny little creatures like that. Imagine, you're a great big animal. You're starving hungry. You never get a good bite of anything. Never get a good... Oh, that was bloody lovely, that was. No, just all day long shoving tiny bits of food in the side of your mouth. Oh, I'm sick of these stupid little things. Oh. I like to think of it as Jeff Capes living on hundreds and thousands. He'd be furious, wouldn't he? I'm starving! And he'd be wandering around looking for whatever the individual of hundreds and thousands is. I don't know what you call them when you've only got one. You wouldn't call it a hundreds and thousand, would you? That's far too long a word for something that insignificant. Maybe they call it a one. And then maybe you've got two of them. You've got two ones. That's confusing, isn't it? Because they can't have always had hundreds and thousands of them. Surely in the early days, when they first started making them, they must have made a few, see what they were like. I mean, that's not good business sense, is it? You've got a new product, you don't just make hundreds of thousands! We're gonna be rich! Oh, you make a few more. I don't know. It's a mystery. In America, they don't call them hundreds and thousands, actually. They don't call them that. They call them sprinkles. And unfortunately, I found that out at a gig. And that was a tough night, I tell you. Yeah. There's a guy in the front row going, hundreds and thousands what? Hundreds and thousands what? I said, no, it's not hundreds and thousands of anything. They're called that. It's a cake decoration. He said, we don't call them that. We call them sprinkles. So I said, all right. I said, all right. It's like Jeff Capes, right? Living on sprinkles. I thought I'd get it a second time. He said, who the hell's Jeff Capes? I said, he's a massive bloke. I said, strongest man in the world 3 years running. Loves his grub. He said, we don't call him that. We call him Luther Vandross. So I said, all right. It's like Luther Vandross living on sprinkles. But by that point, they'd forgotten about the whales. Why the hell would Luther Vandross eat sprinkles? He's a millionaire. He could have steak every day. You saying he's too dumb to go and find his own food? He's got to go around eating little bits of cakes? Are you racist, buddy? Is that your problem? So I just did a couple of knob gags and got off.
Look at this pretty lady. Don't fight it. I can tell by your eyes that you want me. Oh, fuck it. I can't keep it up. It's all a joke. I've never left the country. Good evening, folks. Very, very, very pleased to be here tonight. I want to tell you a bit about myself, because I've started off quite aggressive, so I'll pull back, right? My parents arrived in London in the 60s. And London in the 60s was very, very similar to Australia now. No real diversity, right? I remember my first day at primary school, I ran into the classroom, I ran straight back home, and I went, Mum, Mum, apparently there's a black boy in my class. I can't find him anywhere. So you young people, you're very, very lucky, right? Young people. How old are you, son? Right there, you. 16? What year were you born?
91.
1991. Did you hear that noise? That's called jealousy. There are people in this room with underpants and socks older than you. Where are you from, child? Where are you from?
London.
London, big place. Scale it down. I'm not driving a minicab. Let's work together. Kilburn, North London, yeah. South London, representing.
People ask me all the time, so Rich, how did you end up becoming a comedian? And I always say, why do you say end up, like I made a mistake? It's kind of a polite conversation you have with a tramp. So, fella, how'd you end up in a skip? It's the most fantastic job in the world, right? You make people laugh, you, fella, with all that stress on your face. Look at you, sit in the front row trying to get the jokes before anyone else. How desperate are you for comedy, my friend? Well, you people, bricks, but... Oh, I'm sorry. What? I wasn't expecting a response. Do you work?
I'm a student.
A student, all right. No more questions, Your Honor. It's very easy. No heavy lifting. Eh? Why don't you think about being a comedian? What are you studying?
History.
History. That goes back a long time, doesn't it? Why don't you try American history? A couple hundred years. Boom, you're done. Listen, here's the thing, all right? You just say intelligent things stupidly. That's all there is to being a comedian. Or maybe it's stupid things intelligently. It's not rocket surgery. I'll tell you that right now. That's what I get asked all the time. So I bet you were the class clown. Were you the class clown? Screw you. Why would you suggest I took a childhood disorder and turned it into a career, you prick? No one ever says to a hooker, were you the class whore? I bet you were the class whore, weren't you? Let the mystery be. I love watching Brits snap. That is the greatest thing in the world. When a Brit snaps, you don't even know they've snapped. It's not like Americans who take out 8 or 9 people with a high-powered rifle because they're social animals. Brits snap and you go, 2 hours later thinking, I think that guy snapped while I was talking to him. At that point where he crushed the pint glass with his hand, he was a bit pissed off. That's why when it comes to a war on terror, something we invented, the war on terror, because Brits would never have a war on terrify, because what's not terrifying to Brits? Everything. They just don't show it, right? Brit, you've had giants plucking your daughters out of villages a couple thousand years ago. Look that one up, history boy. It's true. So the basic British reaction to anything terrifying is this. How much is this going to cost? You can't really terrify. That's why I'm pretty sure the war, the whole terrorism thing, I think the terrorists have just kind of given up on Britain, because what can they possibly do, right? Listen, I would never compare the scopes of tragedy of, say, the World Trade Center to the bombs that blew up in London, but the reaction is completely different, right? America still has this entire culture of fear about terrorism. It's basically manifests itself by terror alerts being scrolled across the bottom of the TV screen by color. No explanation whatsoever. Just today's terror alert is orange. Now back to our show. What the hell is that? What does that mean? Orange, that's hunting accidents, roadworks, right? That's not good. It means be very, very aware of terror. So dwell on it now and then. Whereas in Britain, they blow up the buses in London, next day people are back at the bus stop waiting for the bus, right? And complaining about it because they're Brits. Bus is late. I mean, it's late. The one yesterday blew up. Yeah, well, that was yesterday. Today's today. I live in the present and the bus is late. That's why when you watch a Brit snap, right, you got to get really close to them. They'll pick a high street and just corkscrew for a while. That's... Not even knowing what direction to... What direction is corkscrew anyway? This is bullshit. And then you get too close and then you get sucked into the vortex, right? Are you okay? That moment when a Brit truly snaps and it looks like this. I'm gonna write a letter. That's it. I've been pushed to the brink, you bastard. Nobody treats me like this, you son of a bitch. Huh? I'm not emailing this, I'm writing this. Wait till you get that tomorrow. Big red pillar box right in the mail. Postal strike.